Colorado blasted Utah. What went wrong for the Utes, and who's going to polish the Heisman Trophy that now belongs in Boulder? This is Locked On Big 12.
You are Locked On Big 12, your daily podcast on the Big 12 Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome into Locked On Big 12. I'm Drake Toll from America's #1 Big 12 podcast, Locked On Big 12. Thank you for making this show your first listen every single day. Make your second listen Locked On College Football. Today we go over Travis Hunter winning a Heisman and Utah falling apart in Boulder. If you hit subscribe, I get to keep my job. Utah lays an egg. When it seemed like the game could be close, the defense keeps you in it. They lay an egg in the fourth quarter, and Colorado proves this team can win a Big 12 championship, could possibly beat BYU in the title game, and make it to the college football playoff, not as an at-large, 3 losses, that's how they would do it. That would be tough. But instead as the conference champion. They're as dangerous as anyone. First takeaway from this, Isaac Wilson, dog. Absolutely. I have so much respect for what that kid is doing. Now, take that statement, which is true, and pair it with another statement, which is true. He is not ready for this level of Division I college football. The coaching staff continues to put him out there in situations where he cannot win the game for his team. He hasn't done it. Utah's now lost 6 consecutive games, 21 for 40, 3 interceptions. Did he make some good throws? Yes. He had the one to Singer that was Travis Hunter guarded. Awesome. Did he also go 21 for 40 with 3 interceptions? Yes. He's not ready. He tried. And it makes me question, if he could start this week, why didn't he play last week in the second half? If you trusted him to start here instead of the Italian Stallion, and there were the rumors all week long that Isaac Wilson has mono, I just want to know what the leadership is thinking at Utah. On the other side, I know what the leadership at Colorado is thinking. I know what their coaching staff is thinking. Extension City. This is, I eat crow, foot in mouth. 8 weeks ago, I told you, this football team is not ready. The AAU style is not going to work. Deion Sanders is not a good enough leader to run a college football program. He's a great hype man, but he's not a good enough leader to run a college football program. And I was wrong. That wasn't true. The read that I had on Deion, based on what he did in the Pac-12, was incorrect. And Colorado was good. It took time to piece together a very athletic conglomerate of transfer players into what you see on the field now. Even without Jimmy Horn Jr., Colorado's offense puts up 49 points, and it was said ad nauseum by Joel Klatt and Gus Johnson. Utah has the #1 defense in the Big 12. They're analytically a top 10 defense in the country. Colorado put up 49 points. And Travis Hunter, while he's running the football into the end zone for a touchdown on offense, is pulling down interceptions on defense, is a lockdown corner, has allowed less than 250 receiving yards on the year while playing corner. That is astounding. I ask you, any other Heisman hopeful, which side of the ball do they play? One of them, this kid does both at an elite level. How about Deion Sanders? 30 for 41, 340 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. That was a bad pick. But those 3 touchdowns, those 340 yards, that 30 for 41. Can you give me any reason why both those guys shouldn't be in New York at the end of this season, and any reason why one of them, named Travis Hunter, shouldn't be holding that trophy when the name is read for the Heisman? It will happen. This was an offensive clinic for Colorado. Even when you thought they'll take their foot off the gas, Utah's kind of coming back. Could the Utes position themselves in at least peeing distance to get back and win? The answer was no. Isaac Wilson shut the door by just laying the ball into the chest of a Colorado defender. One of the easiest interceptions in maybe football history that Isaac was like, you know what? I don't even want it anymore. And I hate it for the kid, man. You can tell. It reminds me of when I played 7-on-7 intramural football at Baylor University. I didn't know that I, the journalism major from Valonia, Arkansas, would be playing 7-on-7 flag football against kids from Westlake. Like, yeah, that guy was the backup quarterback at Westlake. Like, oh, uh-oh. I go out there, my first pass, interception. Similar to an Isaac Wilson play. It's just like, oh, light's too bright, moment's too big. I didn't know that corner was the starter at Duncanville. I throw an interception, and I'm getting down on myself, man. I'm a young quarterback out there on the 7-on-7 field. Next play, I throw a completion. I think, oh, guys, we're so back. This is awesome. I can do this. Third play, interception. Now, look, I'm not in the same stratosphere as Isaac Wilson, certainly not. But that is what it felt like. Like he had no confidence, starts to kind of gain some in the third and fourth quarter, looks like a different quarterback, and then, just kidding, guys. I threw that pick. I'm sorry. And I wonder what message is sent to him by Utah last week. My coaching staff's not confident in me. They have benched me multiple times. And the only reason they're playing me right now is because Brandon Rose doesn't have a foot for a while. Would you be fired up to play? Would you be really excited to get out there for that coaching staff? Maybe Isaac Wilson is. Seems like a good kid. But God bless, they put him in some tough situations. Italian Stallion would have been fun. I would have enjoyed that. On the other side, Colorado is here. When I think about them playing BYU in the Big 12 championship game, which is likely where we're headed, the biggest difference, and I'm going to, hold on, I want to preface this. Just because BYU barely snuck past Utah last week doesn't mean that Colorado is 20 points better than BYU. That's not how the transitive property doesn't work in college football. I tell you that all the time. And it's the same thing here. BYU and Colorado could square off next week and BYU win by 14 or Colorado win by 14. But this game against Utah is not indicative of how a BYU and Colorado game would go. Rivalry game on the road against Utah last week and a pretty darn good Brandon Rose when he was healthy. BYU wins that game. Colorado today at home, early game with facing Isaac Wilson, who's just not a college quarterback yet. There are elite freshman quarterbacks in the country that can step up day one and do it. That's not him. We've proven that. They've lost 6 straight. That's not him. And Colorado goes and blows it out. What that tells me is effectively nothing about how a Colorado BYU matchup would go. What I do know is the trajectory from one of these teams, for one of these teams, is much different than the other in how they are winning games. Arizona game, blowout. Cincinnati game, tough blowout. Texas Tech game, second half especially, blowout, 14-point victory. This Utah game, second half especially, blowout. Colorado's won 4 straight. BYU has won every game it's played. The difference is how Colorado is winning right now. BYU's got this magic miracle Cougars thing going on. But if they go to Arlington 12-0 and they're still finding these weird, quirky ways that Jake Retzlaff just steps up and wins it at the final buzzer, I need to see a BYU team dominate consistently. Yeah. That would be fun. And the BYU-Colorado crash course to the Big 12 championship would also rock really hard. Oh, I don't know what happened, man. Utah, somebody's got to answer for this. Klatt's talking about how the defense is signaling in so late that Colorado's like, all right, we're just going to snap the ball while their defense is looking at the sideline. Morgan Scott, that's your next head coach. And they pinpointed how Utah players are staring at the sideline as the ball is snapped. Oh, no. Don't do that. That's not good. It sucks, man. You guys were supposed to win the college football playoff on behalf of the Big 12. And that would have rocked. I like any team that can win the college football playoff, whether it be now Colorado or BYU or whoever. This has been, it always will be. Come back tomorrow. Power rankings. Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. Dose Grande.